WWE is reportedly preparing to make an outstanding offer to former AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May. Speaking of former AEW stars, Aleister Black has returned to WWE on last night's episode of SmackDown, laying out The Miz. Randy Orton vs. John Cena for the WWE Championship at Backlash is confirmed. Speaking of Cena, plans for him to team with Travis Scott in the future have been revealed. Fraxium make their main roster debut, debuting on SmackDown last night. Street Profits are still the WWE Tag Team Champions, retain their titles in TLC. Nia Jax returns to WWE television on SmackDown after WrestleMania. Zelina Vega is the brand new Women's United States Champion. Speaking of the Men's United States Championship, a number one contenders match ended in chaos last night. Gunther has been suspended indefinitely for his attack on Pat McAfee during the Raw after WrestleMania. Could the Lucha Brothers reunite in WWE? We've got an update on Bayley's contract status after she was removed from WrestleMania 41. Carmelo Hayes calls himself the 10th wonder of the world on SmackDown last night. The Rock received roughly $900,000 in royalties from TKO in 2024, and the internal reaction to Karrion Kross's promo over WrestleMania weekend has been revealed. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there we're at 21,345 subscribers. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestling News universe. And you can see in the sidebar all of the upcoming watch-alongs and post-shows that we've got for the month of May, including AEW Double or Nothing and WWE Backlash. Let's begin with Mariah May possibly on her way to WWE once her AEW contract expires. After having what many fans described as the best women's match in company history, Mariah May's future with All Elite Wrestling is currently in doubt. The former AEW Women's World Champion has not been seen since her loss to timeless Toni Storm at Revolution on March 9th, and rumours of her potentially jumping ship to WWE have been rampant ever since. These reports were amplified yesterday when, during a recent episode of their WrestleVotes radio show, Joey Votes and TC, the men behind the show, spoke about how WWE are prepared to make an exceptional offer to the Glamour in order to bring her to the company. Quote, "After speaking to sources in Las Vegas, we have learned the extent of the pursuit WWE will attempt in signing upcoming free agent Mariah May. After speaking to sources in Las Vegas, we have learned the extent of the pursuit WWE will attempt in signing upcoming free agent Mariah May. Sources confirm WWE is prepared to make a, quote, outstanding offer, end quote, akin to that of a full court press in effort of landing the current AEW star. There's no indication either way from our sources on how negotiations will go. However, we can at least confirm WWE will have heavy interest when the time is appropriate, which looks to be the latter into the fall of 2025. Spoke to a number of people who said, yes, we are absolutely interested. Yes, she fits our TV show. Yes, she fits our brand, end quote. Now, later in the show, Joey Votes and TC went on to claim that the offer May is set to receive will not only be comparable to the current one WWE superstar and inaugural AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill got in 2023 to jump ship, but that it will likely be better. Despite things, it was clarified the offer doesn't actually need to be better than what Cargill was offered, as WWE are of the assumption that May wants to make the move happen. Of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, speaking of former AEW stars, Aleister Black, the former Malachi Black, is back in WWE. After weeks of video teases on SmackDown, Aleister Black returned to the Blue Brand to interrupt The Miz on Friday night to the delight of the crowd. The Miz went out to the ring to address the fans about how he was feeling slighted after being left off the WrestleMania 41 card. He said he was upset because he had been an integral part of WWE WrestleMania since 2007, but was left off the card without even a mention in favor of El Grande Americano's match against Rey Fenix, a guy who had only been in WWE a few weeks. He also mentioned TNA champion Joe Hendry was revealed to be Randy Orton's mystery opponent after Orton's original WrestleMania opponent Kevin Owens was removed from the match due to injury. Miz called Hendry a meme who did musical theatre in the ring, and as he was ranting about Hendry, the lights in the arena went out. Black returned with his original WWE entrance from his first run in the company, alongside a remix version of his initial entrance music. He got in the ring, and before The Miz could ask what he was doing, he took out the Awesome One with a black mass. Of course, Black officially finished with AEW back in January, but reportedly wasn't a free agent until February or March. Black originally wrestled for WWE beginning in 2016, before making the jump to AEW following his WWE release in June of 2021. This has led to a match being announced for next week. Of course, as I mentioned, Aleister Black made his return last night, and after that statement was made, it was announced that next week Aleister Black will face The Miz in the former's first match in WWE since 2021 on next week's episode of SmackDown. Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE Championship is confirmed for Backlash. Undisputed WWE Champion John Cena will officially be taking on Randy Orton at Backlash in Orton's hometown of St. Louis. After taking an RKO on Raw following his WrestleMania victory over Cody Rhodes, Cena opened SmackDown but couldn't get a word out before he was interrupted by Randy Orton. Orton reminded Cena that in a few days, it will be 25 years since they first shook hands. He said after watching Cena the last few months, he thinks there's a void inside the champion that needs to be fulfilled. Orton asked Cena to think about the fans, the millions of children he's been a role model for, as well as all the Make-A-Wish kids he's helped. Orton said he figured out how to fill Cena's void and told Cena it was time to have kids and grow up. Cena said he spent the last 25 years raising everyone else's kids, and he's been a better parent than Orton could ever be. Orton called Cena just a guest in WWE, and Cena reiterated just how dysfunctional his relationship with the fans really is for him to be labelled as an outcast and a guest. Cena said that Orton only has 14 title wins, and he's taking the undisputed WWE Championship home with him when he retires, so Orton will be forever frozen at 14. Cena said he's erasing 3 generations of Orton's family by taking the gold, and infuriated Orton challenged Cena to a match then and there, but Cena said they should face each other at Backlash so Orton can rest up with his family in St. Louis and come after Cena at his best. Cena then got the jump on Orton and stomped him down, but Orton was able to dodge Cena's shot with the belt and hit him with an RKO to end the segment. There has been a story in the headlines over the last week or so about John Cena possibly teaming up with Travis Scott in the future. Throughout John Cena's journey to the dark side of aligning with The Rock, Grammy Award-winning rapper Travis Scott has made his presence known in WWE. Not only did he give Cody Rhodes a legitimate ear injury at WWE's Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in March, but he also got himself involved at the WrestleMania 41 Sunday main event between Rhodes and Cena. It has already been reported that there is a chance that Scott will eventually get his hands dirty and wrestle an actual match, and in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer revealed the plans WWE reportedly have for a potential tag team of Scott and Cena. Given how much of a thorn he has been in his side, Meltzer claimed that Rhodes would be one half of the tag team facing Scott and Cena, stating that in order for the match to actually work, WWE would need as big of a babyface as possible in order to combat Cena, who is a top heel in the company at this time. As for who would be teaming with Rhodes, Meltzer's theory is that Bad Bunny would make the most sense, not just because he has experience working in WWE over the years, but that he is as big, if not bigger, than Scott when it comes to mainstream casual popularity. Meltzer did note that nothing has been set in stone, but that Scott and Cena would need worthy opponents for when they do eventually team up together. Bad Bunny has not been seen in WWE since his San Juan street fight with Damian Priest at Backlash 2023, but has admitted he wants to get back in the ring at some point in the future, stating that he wants a little more preparation this time around so he is physically ready. Now, as is always the case after WrestleMania, we got main roster call-ups because former NXT Tag Team Champions Fraxium made their main roster debut as a duo during SmackDown. Now, over recent weeks, Axiom and Nathan Frazer had made their respective debuts as solo acts against Gunther and Rey Fenix, respectively, but this week they made their first appearance together for a bout against Legado del Fantasma's Angel and Berto. The bout itself saw the prospective call-ups come out strong, introducing themselves to the audience with fast-paced and high-flying offense before Angel and Berto isolated Axiom in the ring. They maintained their control until Frazer tagged back in, but even then quickly found their way back on top, this time by isolating Frazer. Berto sought to put the match to bed with a moonsault only for a 2 count, with Angel clattered into him to break the near fall. Angel and Axiom tagged back into the bout, firing off right hands to one another and taking their exchange to the top rope. Axiom then delivered the Spanish Fly to Angel off the top rope, with Frazer following up with a Phoenix Splash to wrap up the bout and win via pinfall. Fraxium was preceded in the match by a promo package that appeared to indicate they were going to be a long-term fixture on the main roster, though that is yet to be confirmed. Their second reign with the NXT Tag Team Championships came to an end during Saturday's Stand and Deliver, with Hank Walker and Tank Ledger dethroning them after 230 days. Speaking of tag team titles, the Street Profits are still the WWE Tag Team Champions. They retained their titles in a 3-way tables, ladders, and chairs match to close SmackDown. Following weeks of back and forth between the Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY, the TLC match was booked by Nick Aldis with the idea of solving the dispute over the titles once and for all. The bout itself saw each and every member throw everything, including themselves, with the goal of unclasping the titles suspended above the ring, with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa looking to make a quick affair of the bout with steel chairs against the Motor City Machine Guns and the Profits. At one stage, a chair was placed over Alex Shelley's head and pump kicked by Gargano to spin around his neck, and they were thrown to prevent Shelley from making the climb for the bout at a later point. The closing stretch kicked off with Ciampa clutching the titles, only to lose his footing as Shelley and Sabin pulled the ladder from beneath him. They then beat him like a piñata with chairs as Dawkins positioned himself on the ladder to deliver a spear to Ciampa through a table. Shelley and Sabin looked to have the match won as they positioned the ladder beneath the titles, only for Gargano to re-enter the vault with a chair to take them out. Sabin and Gargano would each climb to the top of the ladder and exchange strikes, with Montez Ford surprisingly entering the fray with a springboard onto the ladder, taking them both out to send them down a few rungs. They pulled him to the inside of the ladder, returning to the top to fight over the bouts before Ford re-emerged on the outside of the ladder to truly cast them from the ladder and claim the titles, retaining them in the process. Nia Jax is back on WWE television. Tiffany Stratton, first though, had plenty of reason to celebrate on Friday's post-WrestleMania episode of SmackDown, but her victory lap turned into a fight for her life as Stratton was immediately tossed into the storm that is Jade Cargill. Stratton and Cargill's exhibition contest was intense, but upsettingly, interference from Naomi and Nia Jax stopped the marquee match in its tracks. The night started with a post-WrestleMania victory promo from Stratton, where she stated her intentions to move past Flair post-Vegas, claiming there is only one Tiffany Stratton. Her celebrations were cut short, however, when Cargill's music filled the arena, and Cargill made her title ambitions quite clear to the young champion. Quote, "Since business is finished with Naomi, I have nothing but time," Cargill challenged. A referee was called forth, and the match was swiftly made official. Both women started the contest on even footing, but Stratton found herself slowly transitioning to defensive plays as Cargill bore her teeth with offensive maneuvers. Cargill nearly had the champion's number after reversing Stratton's signature cartwheel Alabama slam into a powerbomb, but Stratton escaped Cargill's subsequent jaded attempt. However, she failed to secure the pin following a hard-hitting basement dropkick. A superplex from Cargill took both women out and opened the door for a wily Naomi to storm the ring. The match was called off and Cargill was tossed thoughtlessly into the ring post before Stratton re-entered the ring. Naomi stared down the champion for a moment before slinking out of the ring, just for Jax to appear. Jax ruthlessly attacked, breaking the champion with a leg drop and an annihilator. The segment ended with Jax hands on the title and a new challenger for Stratton's championship. Now, Zelina Vega, she's the brand new Women's United States Champion. Zelina Vega dethroned Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship for her first singles title during SmackDown. Vega was facing the inaugural Women's United States Champion 1 week after pinning her in the middle of the ring in a non-title match to secure her opportunity. Although this week Green was flanked by her secret Hervis agents Piper Niven and Alba Fire after they were banned from ringside last time. They immediately made their presence known, working over Vega, while Green had the referee distracted to allow the champion to wear down her challenger. Fire once more came to the rescue of Green, allowing her to land an enziguri and look for an unprettier, only for Vega to counter the move into a backstabber. Fire and Niven would find themselves interfering one time too many, with the referee catching and ejecting them from ringside. Amidst the confusion of their ejection, Vega caught Green with a quick-fire code red to get the pinfall, securing the title before Niven and Fire even left the ramp. Following her victory, Vega celebrated with her title before running up the entrance ramp, while Niven and Fire checked on Green left in the ring. Now, speaking of the US title, there was chaos on the men's side of things on SmackDown. Jacob Fatu is the new United States Champion, and by no exaggeration, everybody on the blue brand wants their shot at spoiling the Samoan Werewolves' first weeks as champion. What was originally supposed to be a United States Championship #1 contenders match between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre instead devolved into an all-out brawl that saw Solo Sikoa, Damian Priest, and title holder Fatu run interference to close Friday's match. Things started up poorly for Knight as he was instantly body slammed by the taller McIntyre. Knight responded scrappily, grounding the former world champion before laying some choice blows to the back of the head and neck. The two grappled as the playing field began to even between them, with neither man giving his competitor the opportunity to gain match dominance. This gridlock contest eventually spilled to the outside, where after failing to secure a 3 count on the Scot following a flying elbow attempt from the top, Knight brought McIntyre to the outside for some choice headbangs into the announce table. Things unraveled for Knight on the outside, where he was assaulted by Sikoa and tossed haphazardly back into the ring. McIntyre and avid Bloodline hater seemed briefly conflicted about Sikoa's interference, but attempted attempted to capitalize nonetheless. Before McIntyre could set up for a signature Claymore, however, Priest stormed the ring and beat his WrestleMania opponent to a pulp on the outside. In the middle of all this chaos, Fatu also stormed the ring to level all the unassociated parties, with the United States title holder standing tall above all to end the segment. Now, despite the chaos, McIntyre technically won by disqualification and would be the first in line to challenge Fatu for his United States title. It is unclear whether McIntyre will still be given the top contendership privileges considering the match's outcome. Now, Gunther, he has been suspended indefinitely by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. He took to WWE's official X account to formally announce that former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther has been fined and suspended from the company indefinitely following his vicious attack on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on the most recent episode of Raw. Pearce had this to say, quote, "First things first, Pat and Cole are okay. Pat's in Green Bay covering the NFL draft, and Cole's doing what he always does, preparing for Monday Night Raw in a Hall of Fame way. As for you, Gunther, your actions were reprehensible and disgusting. You will never again put your hands on any member of my announce team because there ain't no heat in beating up an announcer. You're frustrated because you lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso, and I get that. But if you want to blame somebody, then park your ass in front of a mirror and ask the person staring back at you." After conferring with representation of all three men, Gunther has been fined an undisclosed amount and suspended indefinitely. Now, the reason why Pearce put an extra emphasis on the word indefinitely is because Gunther is legitimately taking time away from WWE, with Corey Hayes of Bodyslam.net reporting the ring general has requested some time off. There is no word at the time of recording when Gunther will be back on television, but it's safe to say another showdown with McAfee will be in his future. Gunther has not taken any time away from the ring since the beginning of 2022 when he began appearing on NXT full-time. Once he was moved to the main roster after WrestleMania 38, he has been a staple of the company, regularly ranking amongst the performers with the most matches under their belt on a yearly basis. Now, many people are wondering, now they're both in WWE, will we see the Lucha Brothers reunite? When former AEW star Rey Fenix made his WWE debut last month, many fans started to speculate whether the company would reunite him with his real-life brother and tag team partner Penta. Just 3 months earlier, Penta officially signed with WWE, and now that the Lucha Brothers are once again under the same roof, it's possible fans will witness the reconciliation of the former AEW tag team champions. According to Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp, WWE will absolutely unite both brothers on screen in the near future. When asking a member of WWE's creative team, Sapp was told the company believes both competitors can hold their own individually and have managed to create a buzz thus far, but will be looking to build towards a groundbreaking moment when both brothers tag team together again. Sapp also claimed that both the SmackDown and Raw tag team divisions would be booked better, but does believe the Blue brand has a talented lineup of teams. The last time Penta and Rey Fenix competed alongside each other was on an episode of AEW Rampage last July when they managed to defeat Private Party in tag team action. The Lucha Brothers nearly captured every championship there is, or tag team championship in the industry, as they have held gold in Ring of Honor, House of Glory, Major League Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action, and of course AEW. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Bayley and her contract status after WrestleMania. It was certainly a head-turning moment when WWE's first ever Women's Grand Slam champion Bayley was pulled from a WrestleMania 41 match this past Sunday for the Women's Tag Team Championship with partner Lara Valkyria. In her place was none other than the man Becky Lynch, who made her return to the company after a 9-month absence. Luckily, it wasn't an injury that eliminated Bayley from fulfilling what could have been her third run with the tag titles. Instead, it was planned, and it was a planned decision that was made weeks ahead of the showcase of the Immortals. However, after that dismissal, some pondered the current status of Bayley's contract and if her deal was coming to an end sooner than expected. According to Fightful Select, it has been reported that the role model signed a new deal with WWE towards the back half of 2023 or the beginning of 2024. While it's unclear how long she'll be under contract, as Fightful could not confirm the details of the length of her deal at this time, it was noted that most stars who sign with the company are placed under 5-year deals. Now, Carmelo Hayes, going back to SmackDown last night, has given himself a new nickname. The world has 10 wonders now, and the 10th wonder is him. After winning the 2025 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Carmelo Hayes now believes he's the 10th wonder of the world. Andre the Giant was known as the 8th wonder of the world, and China was given the moniker the 9th wonder of the world. Carmelo was also given, this moniker. Of course, Carmelo was given an Andre the Giant pendant to wear around his neck by The Miz on the April 25th episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Unfortunately for The Miz, it was a rough night for him, as I mentioned, after being laid out by Aleister Black. Now, an update here when it comes to The Rock. TKO, WWE's parent company, has disclosed royalty numbers made to the Great One. In a new SEC filing, TKO, that being the parent company of WWE and UFC, disclosed its annual report to security holders. In the report, it is noted The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, received $0.9 million in royalties in 2024 and $2.6 million in travel reimbursement. From TKO, quote, on January 22nd, 2024, the company and WWE entered into an IP assignment agreement with certain affiliates of Dwayne Johnson, pursuant to which WWE assigned Mr. Johnson, via all of his affiliates, the Rock trademark and certain related trademarks, service marks, ring name, taglines, and other intellectual property assets. On the effective date, WWE also entered into an independent services contractor and merchandising agreement with Mr. Johnson and certain of his affiliates, pursuant to which Mr. Johnson agreed to provide WWE certain promotional and other services. Under the terms of the Johnson Services Agreement, Mr. Johnson further agreed to license the assigned IP in Mr. Johnson's name, likeness, and certain other intellectual property rights to WWE for use in connection with certain categories of licensed products related to professional wrestling for up to 10 years, subject to certain earlier termination rights. As consideration for Mr. Johnson's services pursuant to the Johnson Services Agreement and in respect of the intellectual property grants and licenses made by Mr. Johnson and his affiliates in connection therewith, Mr. Johnson received an award of restricted stock units in respect of Class A common stock, an amount equal to $30 million, the Johnson Equity Award, subject to certain forfeiture and acceleration events. 25% of the Johnson Equity Award vested on the effective date, 25% vested upon completion of certain services described in the 2023 Services Agreement, 25% on December 31st, 2024, and the remaining 25% vests in equal monthly installments from January 31st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Mr. Johnson is also entitled to receive annual royalties from WWE and will be entitled to receive royalties in connection with the sale of licensed products that utilize assigned IP and his name, likeness, and other intellectual property rights in accordance with the Johnson Services Agreement. For the year ended December 31st, 2024, the company paid $0.9 million of royalties that were earned by Mr. Johnson. In addition, Mr. Johnson is entitled to reimbursement for certain travel expenses associated with delivering services under the Johnson Services Agreement, of which $2.6 million was incurred by the company during the year ended December 31st, 2024. The Rock joined the TKO board in January 2024. As previously reported, The Rock receives monthly stock compensation until December 2025 as part of his deal. And finally, the reaction to Karrion Kross's promo over WrestleMania weekend has been revealed. Karrion Kross has been making the waves this year as he heads towards his contract expiration date. Kross has shown huge progress with fans from his social media works, in addition to his on-screen character that has maximized minutes. Among that included a WrestleMania appearance in his hometown of Las Vegas, but not a match. This was something that Kross brought up during the WrestleMania after show with Sam Roberts and Megan Morant. During this segment, Kross weaved in and out of his storyline with AJ Styles, but also noted his manhandling, firing, and lack of opportunities within WWE. Fightful are told that Kross doesn't have heat within WWE, but the segment did turn heads. The segment wasn't scripted for Kross, but Fightful have been told that other interviews on the show weren't as well. One source claimed the segment required some approval before it made the final cut of the show due to the language. Numerous WWE wrestlers told Fightful they reached out to Kross both to check in on him and thank him for cutting a promo and doing it in a way that could work his character in and outside of wrestling. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.